Welcome to the internet, live from the Marriott Library at the University of Utah in the world's least dank basement somewhere in the Logan metropolitan area. This is the Red Line Podcast. I'm your host, quote, Slurm Enjoyer, unquote, Dunstan, and these are my co-hosts.
Kyle, quote, dark, unventilated room enjoyer, close quote, Holland, and...
Alex, quote, I love when co-hose comes back, end quote, Fielder. Today we're discussing all the transit things that have happened in the time we were away, in Utah and other assorted places that we care about, but mostly Utah. All this after the news.
Ron DeSanctimonious, a.k.a. Meatball Ron, a.k.a. Ron DeEfsler, a.k.a. Tiny Ron, a.k.a. I'm running out of things here, guys. You have to supply some.
I've been mentally blocking these out for a while, so I'm leaning on you. Meatball
Ron. Okay, well, he was our favorite presidential candidate on this podcast. We were going to endorse him. And now he's dropped out. Good freaking riddance.
Yes.
Yeah, so now we just get Nikki Haley or Donald Trump instead.
And we know who's going to win, so what's it matter?
Jove.
I thought Nikki Haley dropped out as well.
Did she? I didn't see that. Let me look.
I didn't know they dropped out this fast. When's the actual, primary?
Well, when you get hit that hard in the beginning... No, she didn't drop out yet.
She didn't?
There's kind of some misinformation.
Well,
here.
She will at some point.
I don't know. I think she wants to pull a Bernie 2016 and kind of fight it out to the end, even though she knows she's going to lose. But
I mean, don't degrade Bernie like that, but...
Yeah, that's true. But, also, this is the front page news item in Mass Transit Magazine this week. Pace has electric buses now.
What's Pace?
The suburban transit for Chicago.
Oh, okay. Well, good for them, I guess.
Yeah. So, this has been the news. Good riddance to Ron DeEfsler.
Do.
Okay, item number 1. Ridership recovery. Really freaking good.
Whoa.
As of December. Buses are literally at 95% of pre-pandemic.
That's cool, and we didn't even try.
Yeah, Trax is...
We've actually cut service, haven't we?
We have actually cut service.
On net. I haven't added up all the service hours.
All the fast buses are gone, which was a lot of service.
Oh, that's true. And the ski buses and the efficiency and coverage oriented rearrangements at the north end of the valley.
So, also Trax is doing really good all of a sudden. And I don't know why.
Well, for now, you've seen how frequent it's having mechanical issues. That's a good way to shake trust in your commuters.
This is true. The point being that Trax December ridership record for this year broke last year's ridership record overall in August. So that's pretty good.
That is good.
And it has been for the last 4 months above 2022 ridership levels, which is something we like to see given that it was below it for a long time.
Whoa.
Yeah, very exciting. OGX continuing to outperform.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's all
Sweet.
I got on that one.
What's OGX at for daily rides now?
About 3,000.
That's pretty good.
For a BERT.
I still feel like it would work about the same without the road widening section.
Well,
but what would I know?
Look, you're not UDOT. You don't know how to spend $1 trillion doing nothing, okay?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. This brings us to the actually interesting thing that has happened since we were gone, which is that UDOT has finally decided to not be stupid and build light rail around Point of the Mountain. However, they have, of course, decided to do it in the stupidest possible way.
Oh my god, are they doing the point bus alignment, but it's got a train on it?
So the idea is, So, there's this lovely, already UTA-owned rail corridor that kind of makes a little circle through the bottom of Draper and then goes south into Lehigh area,
A
right?
very, very broad circle, not a little circle at all. Like, you could probably do the whole thing at full track speed.
Yeah, it's a very broad circle. It's a great little piece of legacy infrastructure. The UTA, and I must emphasize this again because it is important, already owns.
And it's got some nice-ass bridges that were rebuilt, I think, only like 40 or 50 years ago, if
This
not.
is correct. So you'd only have to build one bridge in a lot of places instead of a bridge for each track.
Yeah.
But they have this corridor, right? And so you'd think, oh, we want to take light rail to Utah County. The blue line ends here, and there is this trackage that we already own all the way to Lehigh.
What if we put the train on it?
What if we put the train on it? What if we just, put up some wires and an extra track and put the train on it? But the brilliant eggheads of UDOT have come up with a better solution. And by better, I mean extremely stupid.
They are, for context, very concerned about the state legislature's pet development project, The Point, which would be a master
You should
plan.
read both of those words in capitals, by the way, and put an E at the end so it sounds fancier.
I don't
The
think
Point.
there's actually an E.
I know, but it sells the impression of how it's being treated.
Yeah, they should have put an E. Anyways, but it's supposed to be this giant master plan to housing and retail.
It'll be,
Quote, community, unquote.
I think they want to replace downtown Salt Lake City because it's too liberal is what they're trying to do.
They're trying to
This
make
is my
conservative
conspiracy theory.
downtown.
They're trying to make conservative
Oh,
downtown.
great. Anyways, but they want to put that on top of some land they own from where the state prison used to be, and it's kind of in not a great place. It's very far away from existing centers of population and employment.
And everything else.
And everything else. And in terms of transportation, it's put on the part of the freeway network that is continually under some of the most stress in the system if they wanted to go the car transportation route, and it is off of the current light rail network if they want to go that route. So anyways, they got this whole thing. State legislature's forking over the money. They want to make it happen, for better, for worse. And, it's 2024, so we gotta have mass transit just because we gotta have mass transit, right? Not because we need to serve the transportation
Yeah,
needs of our
nobody
residents.
needs to move with the mass transit. It's just there for funsies.
It's
Which
just-
is why they have come up with a brilliant line. Instead of using the already existing right-of-way and building, I don't know, a pedestrian bridge to connect it to the Point trademark.
Because the existing right-of-way does not go through the Point property.
It's just
goes literally right
100
next
feet
to it.
from it, across
Yeah.
the freeway.
It just basically touches one edge.
Yeah, this has, never been a thing that has happened before. Cough, cough, Fort Douglas Station, cough, cough. But, so they have decided this, in their geniusness to build a line going from Draper Frontrunner Station, i.e. the middle of fucking nowhere, to Traverse Mountain Mall, i.e. the middle of fucking nowhere, that does not connect to anything except the Point and Draper Frontrunner Station.
The literal only benefit of this alignment is it goes through the Point instead of next to the Point.
Right.
The downsides are everything else, including cost, alignment speed, because it's going to be a real janky alignment because they're not using Legacy Corridor, ridership because it doesn't go anywhere
you
useful.
want to hear what the projected ridership is on
3.
opening day? I have it right here. I have the thing.
3, and they're all
They are
us.
expecting by 2030, 1,600. They are expecting an S-line number of riders
What?
on this thing.
Bruh.
1,660 riders per day. And by 2050, 4,300 riders.
That's nothing compared to the amount of housing they want to put
Well, and
there.
also considering that they're spending $1 billion on it versus the S-line $60 million, I think it's a little more difficult.
What
to
are they
excuse.
on?
Cocaine.
I'm convinced that they just propose ideas like that and they build them just so they can be like, oh, look, it's light rail. No one's going to ride it. Why should we build any more? It makes no sense. It's so dumb.
It is quite dumb. And, they could, in fact, bring down the costs of this by doing something that would be very simple, but they have decided not to
Moving
do
Draper
this.
Frontrunner?
No. So this corridor, right, there were initially ideas to use the Blue Line corridor for a, quote, non-revenue connector
Uh-huh.
so that they would not have to build an entire new maintenance facility for this 10-mile little stub of a line.
Because it would be literally, I don't know what the numbers are, but I'm assuming it would be literally cheaper to just build a connecting track along that rail corridor to the rest of the Blue Line system
Correct.
than it would be to set up all the new maintenance and equipment.
This is correct. But instead of doing that, but they are afraid that if they build that track, people will demand a reasonable service pattern.
The contractor actually put this in the study document.
As a liability.
It's considered a liability, yeah.
Is that the people will demand a reasonable service pattern where you can connect from the Blue Line to the Point Line or whatever we're calling it. And so instead of building that, we're going to spend even more money to build a non-revenue connector and then someday maybe extend the Blue Line to meet it.
Honestly, if we built the non-revenue connector, this would not be the worst project ever.
I mean, it would be one of the worst
Because the other issue here is they continue to refuse to move Draper Frontrunner Station, which is currently in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's got a lot of nice, huge, well-maintained parking lots,
and office
which
buildings.
Really make a place feel like home. But it's not next to anything that anybody's going to use Frontrunner to get to. However, the Frontrunner tracks pass right next to the other edge of the point, opposite tracks. So if they just remove the old station, build a new one a bit farther south, move the flippin' park and ride garage, then bam, you can run a shuttle service back and forth between Frontrunner and tracks, and then get all the connectivity you want.
Yes, and here's the other thing. You should not have commuter rail stations spaced a mile apart.
Oh, yeah, because
3 in a row, because it's going to be South Jordan, 1 mile, Draper, 1 mile.
No, you're thinking what the contractor is thinking, which is you can't just blow up old Draper Frontrunner.
Yes, you can.
Exactly. But the contractor thinks you can't. So what they think UDOT would have to do is build a second station, have 2 of them right next to each other, and also fuck up the meets and passes on the entire system, quote, necessitating, unquote, a bunch of new double tracking.
Which they're building anyway. They're double tracking all the way from the...
Shut up, we're trying to shoot down rail projects right now.
They're double tracking basically all the way from the Narrows to Draper Frontrunner, so this would affect absolutely nothing with the Frontrunner Forward project.
I think it would still be a problem if they had both stations, because it really does screw over the whole thing.
Yes, it would be a problem if they had both stations.
But if they just have one station, they would have no problems, and actually the Draper Meet and Pass would be better, wouldn't it? A wash is a great outcome here.
As a person who has spent a lot of time sitting in Draper waiting for a southbound train to pass, there would be
Anyways, but you could just move the station.
It's like the SpongeBob meme. We'll take it and we'll push it over there.
And you could provide this crazy thing called functional bus service to connect the relocated station with other areas around it, including the former station site.
Shocking.
If they were that bothered about it, couldn't they also just have a streetcar go from the extended Blue Line to the new relocated Frontrunner station?
Yeah, that's personally what I would do.
That would actually be pretty reasonable.
That's actually a good idea. This is a correct use of a streetcar.
And the streetcar could also replace their varying quality theories for a
autonomous shuttles, yes, that they want to do.
So instead of having an autonomous pod car shuttle running in a loop and connecting from nothing to nothing around the point, they could have a streetcar that runs from transit hub to transit hub through the point that would actually pull numbers.
Concept.
So
with a streetcar, you can have the beautiful grassed up rails that everyone seems to go nuts
that would be
great.
They
could.
They
could do that. Grass tracks.
Grassy slime.
This is how you build conservative downtown, is with grassy slime. But anyway, I am. Although I will say that I consider this an unabashedly positive development, no matter what. I understand the alignment is very stupid. I know that.
But the housing part of it?
Well, the housing is great. The housing is going to happen regardless of whether they build the line, and we need it. But the fact that they are choosing light rail instead of BRT now is quite a good thing. Yeah, and I can go off on why for a minute, if anybody.
To start, I've been repressing the memory that they were for some time seriously considering paving the beautiful legacy rail corridor that continues along the Blue Line to build a bus which is the stupidest waste of money ever, and rail corridor.
I am, however, I will say, before we move on to the thing I want to talk about next, I am a big fan of the station that they have named Gravel Pit Station, parentheses, future, close parentheses, because they're planning to build a big redevelopment in the old Draper Gravel Pit once it runs out.
That's amazing.
I do hope that they just name that station Gravel Pit.
They should. That would be very much in UTA spirit.
This is the Blue Line train to Gravel Pit.
You know what they might do? Name the development Gravel Pit, or the Gravel Pit, or the Gravel Pitte.
The Gravel Pit.
They might.
I would rather be a fan of that.
Do ye old Gravel Pit and have it be in the medieval tavern style.
Yeah, do it in like the British like Wattle and Daub style of like, you know, the old, like you have like thatched roofs and like the white Tudor house. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
No, but what I want to talk about here is the Central Light Rail, which is something that does not get talked about anymore because we all thought they were going to build a BRT, making the Central Light Rail useless.
I'm scared now.
However, now that they're building this new stupidly aligned, but with the potential to not be so stupid, light rail line, there is a chance that the Central Light Rail would happen. Now, you may ask, host of the Red Line podcast, what is the Central Light Rail?
Oh, God, that one.
Yes, that one.
Oh, boy.
So, the Central Light Rail, UTA owns a lot of, like, unused rail along the Wasatch Front, but the most kind of what I would call promising segment is a segment that runs from Orem all the way to where the line in Lehigh is planned to end, along State Street in Utah County, which is
I
going
thought you were
to
talking
be
about something different, but that's even cooler.
Which is going to be one of the, which is along it, development is exploding, right? Utah County is expected to double in population in like the next 15 to 20 years, and most of it is going to be along this line. And so basically, since this follows State Street directly to where UVX starts, the idea is that if they built this line, someday they could extend it all the way down there and have the light rail spine go, throughout Utah County and then finally convert UVX into light rail and eventually take it further south as well.
And then is it LA who has the longest light rail line?
I don't think we would beat them still.
Well,
you have to understand how
long.
We would have to do a serious northern extension, but yeah. So really what this represents to me is, however stupid it is, a hope that someday there might be a decent freaking light rail service through Utah County.
Crazy. I'm going to say if they build the non-revenue connector, we're off to a pretty good start. Because even if they're building all the extra routing from Draper Frontrunner through the point to Lehigh, that is relatively useless, then at least we get the potential future connection.
They're not turning it into BRT.
This is true.
Which is my main thing.
This is true. That's the only option that closes doors.
Yes. And what I will say is that this does create, like, their stupid Draper alignment does create the potential for a decent split-off point, because you don't want a light rail line that operates for 2 hours in one direction. You don't want that. So what you could do is have, in that area, right, you build a little line out to the Lehigh station, and then you have the line that goes south from Salt Lake and there, and the line that goes north from Provo and in the point, which would be quite a decent operating pattern, actually. It's similar to what Link Light Rail will be doing when Line 3 opens, I think.
Yeah, interesting. I'd also be curious to see how a future Red Line extension would play into all this,
Oh, yeah, because they do want to extend the Red Line to the point as well.
Honestly, pretty good idea. That's a very, very big transit desert.
Yeah. One other thing I kind of wanted to mention with relation to this, I think we might be seeing somewhat of a change in paradigm about how UDOT is thinking about things.
Very, very, very slow change.
Well, even from a couple years ago, right? Because, the reason we were all so worried about this whole Point of the Mountain thing is because UDOT was trying to force UTA to build a BRT there.
Which would have been the dumbest crap ever.
which would have not been a great idea. But UDOT isn't trying to force through BRT projects anymore, like they have been for a very long time, trying to convince every project needs to be BRT.
Just broadly. They're
Just
now
broadly.
open to rail.
I think that they may now be open to rail, which could be very, very important.
Do you think this could be related to the legislature putting them in charge of front rider track construction?
I do not. I think that this is just a paradigm change in, first of all, the fact that the Bush administration and the Obama administration are no longer dumping money at BRT and BRT exclusively.
Thank you, Amtrak Joe.
Thank you, Joe Biden. And secondly, the realization that the truly long-term success of our transit system has depended almost entirely on rail for the last 20 years, and that maybe that's something we should keep going.
Did not see that one coming.
No, me neither.
Rail.
Light rail
All
is good? Question mark.
Wow.
So anyway, that's my... Oh, you should also... Here, come look at this, because it's freaking ridiculous, Kyle. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. There.
Oh, is this the...
This is the mag
Oh,
study.
that's the...
This is their ingenious plan for all the freeways and things that we need in Utah County.
Oh my God, with 2 bridges over Utah Lake.
I know.
This is on page 15 of the MAG 2050 plan.
Yeah, published in 2019. That is a lot of freeways.
Because we got to develop the other side of the lake too, and we clearly need this entire new parallel freeway.
Well, and they're mad. Look,
Here.
here's their... They're like, oh no, look at our current road hierarchy. This is what the ITE recommends, which is just a straight grid of like...
This isn't Texas.
I know. I can't believe, like, it's quite funny for ITE to recommend that.
Are they just looking at this and... Wait. You know how I made fun of you the other evening for
My City
playing
Skylines.
City Skylines and treating cities as a cool backdrop to run trains in? This document right here is the bloody... like regional government's plan to treat a plot of land that millions of people live on as a cool background to bulldoze and run
freeways,
highways through
correct.
just because highway cool and look at us do traffic
Yeah, the
engineering.
difference
Woo.
is that I never demolished anything for a train track in City Skylines.
And you're also not working in real life. Blowing up
I'm
real
not-
people's homes.
You're saying that I'm not ontologically evil?
Yes.
Interesting.
How much was the projection for those bridges over Utah Lake? Because I seem to remember it was about 10 or 50 billion. Was it something
It's
like
a
that?
lot of money. I mean, it's a bridge over quite a large lake. It's
It's
gonna,
like,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
But
I
it's-
remember it being like 15 billion or something like that. Something crazy.
But it's not like a real navigable water or anything, isn't it? So can't you just do a lot of like more viaducty stuff? Lots of giant piles.
Yeah, or you could just run a ferry.
Whoa. Or you could just not develop the west side of the lake
Or
because
you
that would
could
be
just
stupid.
develop the west side of the lake and not build a freeway directly over the lake.
Crazy.
My God, it's mostly
They're
empty
gonna-
desert out
they're
there. I'm
gonna
not
develop-
too broken up over it being developed.
It is literally just dead desert.
Yeah. They're going to develop it. I think they should send the red line down to Eagle Mountain. Yeah.
So, that's my various rantings about the point. Next item. I have titled this, quote, Ongoing Mysteries in SLC Transit. When will Second South be finished?
They said spring.
It's still not done?
Given that I haven't seen them tearing up anything recently, they still have a lot of work to do.
I remember before I moved up to Logan, it was expected to be done.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was looking forward to biking on it.
Oh, the part they've finished from
Is
Second
quite
East up to the
nice.
university
Yeah.
is quite nice. There's only about 3 blocks where the bike lanes go to crap. Other than that, it's bloody great. And maybe they'll come back and fix that eventually if we're lucky.
Are they replacing the gas main on
They're done with
21st South as well?
Oh, on 21st? No, they're working on that right now. I was just in the other day, and they had the part of 21st South that goes from like Highland to 13th East, those like 2 blocks. Part of that was only 1 car lane each way, and society didn't crumble.
Interesting.
It was crazy.
Sugar House residents seething right now. Also,
Yeah, My parents aren't very happy about that, or my brother, and it's hard to explain to them that it will make pretty much no difference. It'll just be safer for everyone.
Yeah.
Kids these days. With regards to Sugar House, though, have you guys seen the Sugar House Tower?
The one that's going to go on the Wells Fargo building?
Well, it's not going to go on the Wells Fargo building because there's too much neighborhood opposition.
What? That'd be a great location.
But it's too tall. It's going to ruin the character of the neighborhood.
Yeah, me when I'm walking around the neighborhood looking straight up, like I do every day.
Well, it's going to break some, rich homeowner's view, and Sugar House Coffee might have more customers coming on foot.
Wait, Sugar House Coffee is against this?
Sugar House Coffee has come out against
What the
this
hell
building.
are they on?
Stupidity.
Wait, really?
Yes.
God. So, how tall is this building going to be?
It was like
I haven't heard about
it
this
was
yet.
like 235 or something. It's bare. It's not even technically a skyscraper.
No, big tower.
Okay, but for Salt Lake, I don't know.
That's like
Wells
half our
Fargo
tallest building.
Well, I guess
which is not that tall.
Yeah.
You know the
Yeah. Just like 450 or something.
It's like 20 stories. It's tall. It's a lot taller than most things in Sugar House, but not that tall.
It's really not that tall. And I really don't think you should be like choosing the future of an entire auxiliary urban core, if you will, based purely on 5 people might not like looking at this building once a month.
So anyway.
Like housing first, aesthetics later.
Yeah. But it's not going to get built, so it's fine. It's going to get scaled back to an 8-story at most, probably. Okay.
God.
Yeah, whatever. In other news, Portland transit nightmares. So there was a big snowstorm in the Pacific Northwest.
Here we go again.
We have this story every year. There was a big snowstorm in the Pacific Northwest this most recent weekend, and Max was closed, I believe, for 3.5 days, which is an all-time record.
Why?
Because they don't have sanders on their vehicles, so they have to manually de-ice all the tracks and catenaries.
What?
Also, Portland, because they think that they never get snow for some reason, even though every year they have a horrible storm that incapacitates the entire city, thinks that they don't need snow plows. So they don't know how to plow roads. And their tracks downtown, where they're kind of street running, frequently get filled with ice because they don't
have drainage,
de-ice, or have good drainage. And so they have to manually dig them out.
This is the lowest hanging fruit I have ever seen in my life.
So Max is back open now, but it was a quite funny 3 days watching all my Portland mutuals lose their shit because Max wasn't open.
We have the same train technology as them, except there's sanders in the trains, there's extra de-icing pantographs, and there's drainage. It's not hard.
Not rocket science. So, I don't know, maybe before building Better Red 2 or whatever, you should consider building the Make Max Not Break in winter.
Or maybe last time they ordered new vehicles, they should have got sanders and de-icing pantographs.
Concept. Yeah. Alex, any comment on that one?
No, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Poor Portland.
Poor guys. Another item. Silicon Valley BART gets bit in the ass again. San Jose Mayor Liccardo calls for the $12.2 billion line to be scaled back. Because as it turns out, building God's deepest subway through suburban San Jose is not a good idea.
Crazy. Now it's going to be elevated?
No, they just want to pull one station off the end so they can afford to build it.
What? Isn't the last station the best one?
Yes.
Damn. Doesn't this kind of kill the cost benefit?
Yes.
Damn.
But we can't have elevated trains.
Wouldn't the last station be the actual connection? That's kind of the whole point.
No, that's the second to last station. This one is at like a major university and and downtown and such, which is Generally
So they're cutting back that.
generally a good predictor of ridership is when it's in a historic downtown and next to a major university. I would say is a good place to generate ridership from. But what do I know about transit?
Nothing, apparently.
But yeah, so it would be clearly, since BART has never been elevated anywhere. It would be horrible for BART to be elevated, so we're going to build the deepest tunnel in history and get rid of one of the most important stations instead of doing that.
This irks me even more because BART has some of the nicest and lowest impact elevated viaducts out of, any system ever.
Any, we should say mainline metro, yeah.
This is true. They're small, they're quiet, they frequently build greenways under them. What more can you ask for?
Well, we can't have disruption of downtown San Jose, which is famously, poppin'.
Oh no, we might have to look at something. It's not like I go around looking at stuff all day.
Yeah, well, this thing might be made of concrete and have a train on it, and that's just too much.
It's not like San Jose residents go around looking at those all day.
No one in, California has ever seen a concrete viaduct before.
How does BART get into San Jose Diridon on the peninsula side? Wait, no, sorry, on the other side.
It doesn't.
Wait, no, it doesn't. It just goes most of the way, and this is the project. I forgot. Sorry, there's too many colored lines on that map.
I do enjoy how abundant transit is in the Bay Area. I just wish they would coordinate it.
Lol, LMAO even.
So, yeah.
Caltrain Gauntlet tracks one.
And, oh, Lord. And now, so Mayor Liccardo, the guy who called for it to be scaled back, has historically been its biggest supporter and was the person who pushed for it to be made into an underground mega project instead of a relatively simple elevated extension. So,
I'm hoping there aren't any ill intentions here.
My face when the Leopards Eating Faces project eats my face.
Crazy.
It just blows my mind that it's $12 billion.
Yeah, you could build...
We could do so much with $12 billion.
You could build 2 new UTAs with that.
We could finally get a train to Logan.
We could get...
Base tunnel.
A couple of trains to Logan for that amount of money, actually. So...
2 separate parallel trains to Logan. Let's do it the highway planning way.
Sure. Why not, man?
UDOT when they build Sardine Pass 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, that would be fun. I would take that every day. Just for fun.
The Sardine Pass double-decker one.
Yeah, this is why I get free transit. Oh, you want to put the Embarcadero freeway through Sardine Pass.
Yeah.
That's a very stupid idea.
I know. That's why I said it.
That's a great idea.
Hey, and Alex would know more than you do.
Then you don't have to do snow removal on the lower level.
Upper deck, open summers only.
If I would actually be on board with turning I-15 through downtown Salt Lake City into a double-decker freeway because it would reduce the footprint and allow for construction of more housing.
Would be funny.
And it would be quite funny, yes, to build a double-decker freeway in 2024.
Yeah. I think the problem would be making it stand up during the big earthquake that's coming at some point.
That's okay. UDOT has the budget for that.
Yeah, we'll just throw a couple extra billion at them for it.
Yeah, easy.
Excuse me, sorry, I had a yawn there. Next item. So, Kathy, my favorite, Kathy Hochul, she's the governor of New York State, has just given $7.3 billion to the MTA for their capital program, which includes money for IBX.
Wait, million or billion?
Billion.
Damn.
New York State's economy is larger than Canada.
Sorry, I forgot. That's
Actually,
cool.
The New York City metro area's economy is larger than Canada. New York State's metro area, GDP is probably larger than the United Kingdom.
Wow. Is IBX still going to be a light rail?
Yes, it is, low floor. And the reason they're doing that is to avoid a single grade separation near a cemetery.
Bruh.
I wish if they would do it with high floor light rail, I would have 2/3 less objections to this. Because I can understand not wanting to, potentially desecrate a Jewish cemetery. in the most Jewish city in the world.
Okay, fair, but high floor light rail. Or why can't they just run the subway through the grade crossing? Like, just have the gap
It's
in
not
the
a
third
grade
rail.
crossing. It's going to be street running for about a block and a half. So, you know, great. I love America. I love living here. That's all of my news items. Anybody else got anything interesting to talk about? No? Okay. Phoenix.
No.
Go on, Alex.
I was just saying no. I don't have anything interesting.
Phoenix, pretty soon actually, is opening their newest light rail extension, which will have their first elevated stop.
Whoa.
We almost went to that.
Then didn't.
Then we didn't.
See you guys the next one.
Yeah, we're going to Seattle for the Line 2 opening, I think. So
That'll be cool.
come with us.
And hey, it's Seattle, not Phoenix. No
Yeah,
offense, Phoenix enjoyers.
I am personally
Yeah.
looking much more forward to a trip to Seattle over Phoenix, to be honest with you. That's just me.
I am in agreement with that. Yeah, nothing against Phoenix, but kind of.
But everything against
But
Phoenix,
not,
yeah.
not.
Now, if only they'd
Not
finished
really.
the bloody
Yeah.
Amtrak to Seattle.
Oh, that would be nice. Instead, we're going to
They
take
didn't-
42 hours. I am planning to go to Seattle on the train.
40.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But it is 42 hours, so we might have to reconsider that.
We'll throw some am snacks in the budget.
We're going to have to throw a lot of the stuff in the budget if we're going to, yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one a lot. There's some decent rail openings this year. Calgary Green Line stuff, some more Edmonton openings, so we'll see. Oh, and some more REM openings, so we'll see if we make it to any of those.
That'd be cool.
It would be cool. We're trying to be miles in transit, but different is what I'm saying here, and actually go to things that open.
That sounds not like Miles in Transit.
I know.
This is a terrible comparison.
Silence.
One of the
communist.
worst I've ever
Silence,
heard, honestly.
communist.
Maybe we can. Maybe if we go on a trip, we can film some episodes of our other upcoming podcasts.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
I do have one more item, and that item is Slurm.
Oh, wait, before you do that, I can just budget buy another of those little audio recorders and we can just record live on location.
We can record live on the train. We should go to when we go to Seattle. Here, keep this in the actual podcast. When we go to Seattle on our 42-hour train trip, we will record podcast episodes on Amtrak
Sure.
with we'll do it in the lounge
Is that-
car with random ass people who can join in at any given time.
Sounds good to me.
That sounds great.
If we can budget
Yeah.
2 more of the audio recorders, we can do it.
How many do we have currently?
2.
This sounds fantastic, actually. And then we could also film the B-roll on the train
Yes.
and have it be real time as
We
well.
will have so much.
So
B-roll.
we can point stuff out and people will know what we're pointing at.
I'm gonna actually start preparing like a list of like 5 episodes that we can record
Yeah.
on our trip to Seattle.
And especially since, Alex, now that you're in Logan, I think there's a lot more value we can add by doing live on location podcasts.
True.
Yeah, definitely.
So, anyway,
I'm excited
fun
about
things
that.
coming for the future of the Red Line podcast. And also we have merch now. We have a merch store. It's
Yeah.
open. It has some stickers. It has some buttons. They're cheap. You should buy them,
You should. I'm still not happy with how it looks, but you can absolutely buy all of the products.
and we'll send it to you.
This is true.
We
in
will
the
not
mail.
just steal your money.
We will send it to you.
We will definitely not steal your money.
And we have some stock now, so we can fulfill probably some small orders.
Yeah.
You still have all the stickers in a known location, right?
Oh yeah, they're in my car.
You should grab them and
I
put them
have
on
a
the shelf
ton
with
of
all the other
stickers
merch.
too.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
They're in, the center console in my car,
Uh-huh.
the one with the little.
That's where you hide all the
I-
merch.
all the stickers are in there.
No further questions.
I took a lot of them to Boise to give to relatives.
Oh, fair enough.
Also, final thing.
Sweet. Well, I've got.
Oh, go on, Alex.
Oh, I was just gonna say I've got my pins on my backpack now, and I'm very happy with them.
Woo.
Very exciting.
They're actually higher quality than I thought they would be. They're a lot more legible and
Ha.
The printing was pretty good.
Go us.
Yeah. Oh, and our Cost Snake sticker was endorsed by the person who came up with the idea of the Cost Snake on Twitter. So,
Oh, really?
yes.
All right.
So keep that in
was?
mind. Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
They live in China, so that's cool. Our sticker is endorsed by someone from another country, and therefore you should buy it.
Wow.
And I believe...
We're international, baby.
Yeah. As you know, the Red Line podcast donates a certain portion of all revenues to the Utah Transit Riders Union. I believe it's something like 10% of last year's income we donated. So, you should give us money, and some of it will go to us making fun things. Other of it will go to making transit better.
Woohoo.
So
we should carve out like an extra little bit for City Nerd too.
Sure. We'll give City Nerd 1% of our income. Just so that we can get exclusive access to his Patreon content.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty good deal.
This sounds like the pyramid scheme of Patreons.
This sounds like Patreon making a crap ton of money off transaction fees.
Very true. I have one more thing to talk about, and that is Slurm. You may recognize this from Futurama if you, like me, are a Futurama fan. But I just was talking with a friend of mine on Twitter the other day about American Plaza, the weird kind of
oh god,
the liminal plaza behind the American
Yep.
Towers.
I don't think I've actually been through that, not with wheels attached to me in some form or other.
Oh, I use it all the time to get home from work. But
There you go.
it's a great cut through besides this. But we were talking about it, and he jokingly said, oh, hey, we should have a monthly meetup there where we just meet up at American Plaza and go do fun urbanism things. And I was like, you know what? Why the hell not? And I've been thinking about like this thing that we did in Portland, which is called Max Tot meetups or something. It's like maxed out means for transit-oriented teens or something. It was very fun. It was nice to just go do stupid shit with other transit fans. And so that is the plan with Slurm. We're going to have a meetup on the first Saturday of every month, and we're going to go do something stupid. It's not an advocacy thing. It's just for fun.
Sounds good.
Our first ever one will be, I don't think this will be out by then, Saturday, February 3rd. We're going to do a walking tour of downtown hosted by me because I know lots of things about downtown.
Hey, maybe if the ground's clear, I'll show up on skates just for kicks.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then Saturday, February 2nd, Saturday, March...
You make the damn calendar.
Saturday, March 2nd, we're going to meet up there at American Plaza at 7:30 p.m., and we're going to attempt to do the Provo Shuffle, i.e. riding Amtrak from Provo to Salt Lake City. So you should join us. It's a lot of fun. It's just fun. So just come do it. Yeah.
Do we get to take the really, really long bus route all the way down? Scenic tour? I've not done that one before.
We could do that. I was just planning to take Front Runner because that takes like 4 hours.
Oh, right. We don't have to go on Sunday.
Yeah, it's on a Saturday.
Sorry, I forgot Amtrak ran every day of the week. Yeah, let's just do it on Saturday. That's a much better idea.
Because it's just a little short, tracks ride to Front Runner, then Front Runner to Provo, and then we can get like...
I'm still recovering from your old work schedule when you were only ever free on Sundays.
Assuming that the train... Well, now I'm not free on Sundays.
Oh, great. Perfect.
We can assume that the train will be late, so we should have time to get dinner as well. So.
Okay, and if we don't, then we can have Am Snacks.
Am Snacks, yeah. So, anyway, come to Slurm. Follow Slurm on Twitter. There's a website as well, so...
Woo! Yeah!
It's going to be fun. Oh, and one more thing with regards to Slurm. So I am not going to be... So I'm hosting the first two events, but I'd like to invite all of the other transit nerds of Salt Lake City to come up with fun things that they would like to do for Slurm.
I would like us to do less work.
I would like that as well. So if you want to email the Slurm at slurmslc@gmail.com, you can email us ideas for events, and you can potentially host our fun things every month. So, anyway.
You're a computer user of many Gmail accounts. What can I say?
Oh, you want to look at my current Gmail thing?
Oh my God.
This one has 2 in it.
Oh, great. That
I have
helps.
to say, I'm very glad you went with Slurm and not Slum.
Well, I could have also gone with slur, which I think is equally bad. Salt Lake Urbanist. But no, it stands for Salt Lake Urbanist Meetup.
Yeah, you could have gone slur.
So, and
I was wondering if that was a Futurama
it is a
reference, and I'm very glad it was.
It is a Futurama reference, yeah, which is why I put the Slurm logo on the train in the little...
Hey, should we have the podcast donate some Slurm pins?
Yeah, that would be fun. We should make some Slurm pins.
Only problem is that is, like, very copyrighted.
We'll make our own rendition.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so that's the whole episode. Any other things people would like to add? I'll take that as a no. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and to follow and leave us a rating on iTunes and Spotify. If you like what we do here, please consider becoming a member on Patreon. Patrons receive early access to all of our regular content, as well as exclusive episodes and occasional merch drops. Speaking of patrons... I didn't have it pulled up again because I'm stupid.
Yeah, well, I read ahead a little bit, and...
You are smart.
Ha.
Kyle is the
like
real
Alex.
smarticle particle on this podcast.
What the fuck?
At...
Frontrunner to Logan's here.
Sure, frontrunner to Logan, tier double-tracked and electrified. Of course, we have Zach Adams.
At Utah Lake Channel tier.
At Utah Lake Channel tier, sure. I think you mean the Trans-Utah Tube.
Well, that would only apply if we used immersed tube. Nobody said we had to.
It's the Trans-Utah Tube. Because Utah hates trans people right now, so it's funny to call it that.
I do agree.
Moving on. We have generic GT at the Trans-Utah Tube. At regular frontrunner tier, we have Curtis Herring, Devin Zander, McKay Ransom, Mike Christensen, Phobos2390, and Tony Stunts.
And at our red line tier, we have Brian Smith, Christopher Whaley, DJ
Hi, Will.
Watkins, Elijah Kensler, G4, Jacob Whitecotton, Jesse Mayo, Reluctant LA Resident, and Robert P. Walsh.
At the blue line to Orem tier, $3, we have Alex Dykelski, Alice MYOB, Ben Busath, Bradley Bondi, Ethan McDonald, Evelyn, Gonzo12, Jack McCoskey, Martine Hecker Martinez, Matt Gray, Oliver, Seth, Sky Lukowski, and Zach Verstott.
And at Green Line... Oh, I didn't mention this in the episode, but Green Line is currently the most ridden tracks line as of December tier.
What?
We have...
That's so cursed.
Andrea Levine, Benjamin Wood, John Herring Gorman, Joshua S. Horvath, and Kapil. It was only for December. The red line will regain its position of dominance.
How is the blue line still doing so bad?
Because it sucks.
It shouldn't suck. They should make it not by having development.
Because all the buses that used to make it good are gone.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So, and it was always the most downtown-oriented line, and downtown commuting is not as big of a thing anymore, so...
Even less now that you can't even get on the train because there's no bus.
Correct. So, this has been the Red Line Podcast, featuring such hosts as Kyle, me, Alex, and occasionally guest.
Well, if either of you have ideas for maps you want to see... I'm having a lot of fun in GIS class.
Making custom maps.
I can make maps.
So if we want to discuss like a hypothetical alignment, instead of Sophie drawing it up in Google My Maps, you can make like a bougie one.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Don't shit on Google My Maps.
There's also network analysis tool in ArcGIS where you can do like ridership, cost, demand. You can make pretty much your own transit network.
Are you able to import all the stuff from the UTA Open Data Portal?
Yep. Yeah, it's all... Because they use ArcGIS.
That's quite goated.
It's all on ArcGIS Online.
Cool. Yeah, play around with that more. I don't know where we want to take it, but...
I don't know. If we ever just want a map for the episode...
All right.
I can just make us one that we can use.
That would be great. High quality one that we made.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you could actually start by making the alignment they want to do for light rail on the point, like the latest one that goes from Draper Frontrunner to the mall.
Yeah.
Do I know where in all the study documents to
definitely.
find that alignment? No, but good luck.
I doubt they know. So.
And then, you could like dotted line on that, the non-revenue connector and the Orem extension, and like put the front runner relocations and all that. But that'd be cool.
Well, yeah, and I can mess around with stuff and predict my own ridership numbers. And
yeah, play around with that, because I think that'd be
of
really relevant for this episode.
You could also spread pro-transit misinformation.
We could do that too.
Yeah.
But for this episode, if I remember, I'll
just
make you some time cues for putting stuff on screen.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, it's just the more I get to use GIS, the more I can say I've done, and the better jobs I can get, hopefully.
Whoa.